Welcome to the city of brotherly girls.
So I'm here with BKFC Featherweight champion, one of the legends of the sport, the UK Dirty Fox, Gary
Yeah,
Gary Fox. How are you, sir?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you feeling ahead of your fight coming up in almost a
Yeah,
month now, for your
yeah,
title defense? How you
I'm
feeling?
feeling good, mate. Yeah, feeling good. Yeah, excited about this one. It's a fight what wasn't it wasn't really spoke about, and it just got mentioned, and it's the one that what I'm excited for because there wasn't really much else what to excite me in England. Do you get what I mean?
Of course. Of course. Yeah, I know you had your eyes too down the line too on Kai Stewart and some
Yeah,
other guys as well.
yeah,
You have some history with Lily though, right? Like sparring partners and
yeah. We've done a few round sparring and stuff. We fought on shared changing rooms in shows on the same coming out from the same corner and stuff. Obviously messaged over about bits of advice and stuff on opponents and stuff. Yeah, but like I said, it was one what just never crossed my mind really.
yeah.
But like I said, there was nothing really. I was what was for me in England. You get what I mean? But the fact that I moved down, I thought that's a fight I can get in the gym for and sort of yeah, put a good camp in and stuff. You know what I mean?
Of course. Were you in Philadelphia for Ben Bonner's fight, Gary?
No, I was supposed to be there. I was
Yeah.
all that was the whole plan, but my coaches and stuff said it's not ideal. Like
Yeah.
bang in the middle of camp. So Ben understood. They said it wasn't the same. Field fight week and stuff for them, but they understood. Do you know what I mean? I'll be there for the next time. Like I said, I was there in spirit, mate.
Of
But he
course.
done the business. He done the business, which I knew he would. Um, Won comfortably, best he's ever fought. Some of the advice I've been telling him all through, he took on board and he done the business and played it out perfect.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet Ben at we met at the casino before the fight on Thursday.
Yeah,
Really nice guy. He seemed focused, and this time he had a full camp too.
yeah,
The
yeah.
first fight didn't have the camp, right? It was like what, a
No, I
week's
mean,
notice, something like that.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's what it's like. I mean, it's just like it can be on the day of this bare knuckle fighting. You can put a massive camp in, um, and just the last minute, the last week or whatever, a couple of things can sort of really put a spoke in and make the camp the best camp into the worst. You know what I mean, or whatever. So it's just like on your day. It's more on your day. This. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be. Sometimes it might not feel like it is your day, but you just got to just dig deep and like what Ben did that night. Do you know what I mean?
Of
And
course.
make it your fucking day.
Of
Yeah.
course. I read a little bit about when you were talking about the fight with Chip Chase, and you
Yeah.
said that Saturday you were smiling the whole time because you had complete confidence. You didn't care
Yeah.
what the odds said. You even said you
No.
had I read on DAZN that you had like almost like a vision, maybe a
Yeah, it
vision
was
from
like
God. What
there
was
was
that like?
loads of little things what were happening. Like there was as if I was getting told little signs like leading up to that fight. And there's little things happening, little things what weren't quite right, what went missing, and just like they were just landing on my feet like like the day before we set off to travel to Manchester and stuff. It was as if someone was telling me there was a lot of the things that were happening. I was just looking up and smiling, thinking, yes, you've got, you know what I mean, like. It was just like I just felt so perfect. Felt there was nobody beating me on that night. And the fact that the pressure was on, the pressure should have been on, but I don't really see that as being pressure. When you expected to lose and stuff, it feels like the pressure's. So I just thought I'm gonna prove everybody wrong here. Do you know what I mean? Like there was it was just a shame it ended so early that fight because I had so much more to show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you had no doubt that you were going to lose. If you had that, you didn't have any fear because you didn't think in your
Yeah,
mind. You know what I mean? What were you
yeah.
experiencing? What were the little signs that you had?
Oh, there was just loads of little things that went missing. There was like because I started sorting my life out. And just down to the last one was like there was a key ring from a job, like a good job. So I started working and everything. You know what I mean? I got my life back on track, and it was like a key ring from the job. And I thought, right, I'm going to take that down with me because if it ends up, this is what my plan was. If I, you know, if it's not to be in a loser fight, I can look at this in my bag and think, right, I've still got this good job. My life's still on track. Like and I couldn't find it nowhere. It was nowhere. I was looking at my overalls, everything. I couldn't. I was like, that was the last little thing. And then just as I opened my front door to actually drive to Manchester, it just flung. It's just like the door knocked it, and it just flung across me, like you say, my floor, just like come to my feet. And I was like, it was if it was just it was mad little feeling. I thought like, and like because all these little things had led up to like everything being so perfect. And I just thought like it was just like somebody was telling me, "Listen, we've got you. I've got you." Do you know what I mean? Like this is it. You know what I mean? Even in the changing room, I went for my last like piss before like it was like everything seemed to land, and I was like looking up and thinking like I've got it from here. Like I'll take it from here. Do you know what I mean? Like I've got this. You know what I mean? Like I just couldn't wait to get in that ring, and I was just smiling the full fight. I just knew you know, like there was nobody beating me that night.
Yeah. Now I read too how you said, to be a champion. I think your trainer said to be a champion, it needs to be 24/7, right?
Oh yeah,
Now
yeah,
you're the UK featherweight
yes,
champion.
yeah.
How is it? What does that really mean to be the champion 24/7?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot expected of you if you're the champions, you know. Um, this is why. This is why I'm just like I've took you know I've this fight. There was other names put to me. Do you know what I mean? And I just didn't feel like they were on my level. I didn't feel like they'd done enough to jump in and now. But like James, there'll be a lot of people think the underdog in this fight, this James Lilly fight. You know, but I'm the. Do you know what I mean? I need to show people why I'm the champion, and I need to show people and it's back to that again. Do you know what I mean? It's back to the same scenario again. Do you know? I've got a point to prove, and I'll make sure I'll make sure I prove this point. Do you know what I mean? I'll prove why I'm the champion. And yeah, it's just like living. I live a different life now. Do you know what I mean? Look after myself and you know, even just day to day, like all the way over Christmas, like I said, I didn't bother with no. Years ago, Christmas it was a big party time for me. It was drinking, it was eating out, and I just my full all the way through Christmas. My last like time I went out and had a drink was my birthday, and that was November time. Do you know what I mean?
Cool.
Yeah, I've got you.
So how is life different now? You're the champion, you
Yeah, just
disciplined. What was life
I
going up in County Durham?
yeah, just like I said, I don't really see a lot of people. I don't really see it. Do you know, like I'm not like out and about giving it, you know, like which I could be. Do you know what I mean? But I hardly see anything about anyone. I do the same routine day in day out. I'm on my own daily. Do you know, like I get my kids. I just do normal stuff, but I'm just like you'll never really see me with anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like time I get a few hours spare, I'm in the sauna and the ice baths and the spa, and I just chill out on my own. And I just put my phone on the side. I don't even look at my phone. I like time on my own. Do you know, it's like I'm just living a different. I'm living how an athlete should live, which I've never really done before. Do you know what I mean? And I'm enjoying it. Do you know, I enjoy my own company. Do you know, so yeah, and I just look after myself, look after my body, and I feel like yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. But I enjoy it, you know. Yeah, I enjoy the routine.
That's great. Yeah, I read about how like, you were a successful boxer as well, gloved boxer, regular boxing, and lived. You said in one of the interviews how you lived back and forth, like you would be partying, but then also have a fight coming up and back and
Yeah,
forth. Whereas
it'd be like
now,
I'd be one or the other. I'd be just like but I'd give it 100% effort. If I was
yeah,
drinking and partying, it'd be 100% effort. I was the last man standing at any place, and I'd go from one party to the next, and I'd be the back to fresh legs, and I'd outdo everyone. Then, do you know what I mean? And there was no stop me. I was a machine at the partying scene, like, do you know what I mean? But it's not a way to be, do you know. Like I think I'd have done so much more in the pros and stuff. But you hear a lot of like older. I've heard it myself, like like trying to teach the younger generation, oh, like you need to do this, and you when you're young and you think you know everything, you're like, fuck, shut up, you know what I mean? But like, I'd be a good man to tell the younger generation what and maybe even try and prove it. You know what I mean? Like look at what I've achieved, and now living like this at the age I am compared to years ago. Do you know? So yeah, like I said, for the likes of my own kids and stuff, um, trying to have them not make mistakes I did.
for sure. Now, for people too, a lot of people in the States will be watching this. What's County Durham like? What's like growing up there, and
Oh
what's
yeah,
the
well,
neighborhood like?
like Yeah, it's like anyway, what you make of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can sort of you can live you can be in one place and have a quiet life, or you can live in the same place and have an absolutely chaotic life, like where I had. It was just with the life I was leading. Do you know what I mean? I was just constantly in trouble, and do you know, I wasn't happy. I was, in and out, just locked up, and do you know, like the scrapes I've been through, and just think, do you know, it's mad that where I ran this morning. Was where I used to go out a lot years ago, and I ran past some places, ran past the, like front doorway of a house when I was about 19 years old. I got stabbed. I ran past there. Like, do you know, like this, like, and in my head, I was thinking, like, 'cause I don't really normally run around this way, and I was just thinking, the stuff what's going on. I think I'm just, I ran past that lad's house who was a good friend of mine through school. He's not here, but he died when we were, young, early 20s, and it's like, I just thought, like, it's like a blessing. I'm still here, like the stuff what's gone, just the mad things I was going through in my head, the situations I've been in, do you know what I mean? And I'm still here, and like, yeah, it's a blessing. To think, like, yeah, the life I was living, it could have been the chance where I wouldn't have been here. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a mad little. Like I said, it was
Yeah.
only this morning that.
Wow, does that give you motivation too, seeing all
Yeah, of
that
course
and
it did. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's like I'm still. Do you know, like it's good to be just. It's good to be just staying fit, and I feel like now doing this. Like I said, when I first started fighting BKFC, I wasn't. I was like I was before I'd actually got the call about the fight. I was, my life was done. I was no good at all. Do you know what I mean? And I was only going one way really, and it's really pulled myself back together, get thinking clearly, and like I said, starting working and stuff I would never, I just used to laugh at before. I
yeah,
was just living like a mad teenager, like with no goals. You know what I mean? Before. Um, and just fucking, like I said, it's just really shaped me up. Like, no matter what, like, if my last fight was my last fight, like, I've still sorted my life out. It's still got me going. It's still got me, like, now, like, when I finish it, I do have my last fight. Like, I'll still carry on living the life I'm living now. I know I will, because, like, just the way I'm feeling, do you know what I mean? I'm waking
yeah.
up and I'm blessed every day. And, I'm enjoying time with my kids and stuff where, before, like, all these things didn't matter. Didn't matter. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
motivation seems to have changed. Yeah,
Oh, 100%. It's just, and it's like, and it's like there. It's proven. It's like because I had never had it in the beginning when started fighting BKFC. I was still back to the partying scene and back to the, you know, um, I'd slip back into them ways. Because you don't fight too often in bare knuckle. Do you know what I mean? So
yep.
the fact that it was like when you've had a fight, you knew you weren't fighting. You knew you weren't getting a call like recently to fight. So it was all like, oh, I've got a month or two to do what I want. Really, where it's doing what you want should be capitalizing on that win the last fight and getting better for the next camp. Whereas like I still hadn't got it, but when I did actually get it, and started really like looking like no fight date, but just doing my training and looking after myself and like even not training, just fucking being fresh, going out for a nice walk and eating healthy food and stuff. Stay away from alcohol, stay away from from trouble and stuff. And just and it's gonna and then look what's happened now. I've won a title and I'm a champion and I get noticed everywhere I go and people, it's nice. I can be out with my kids and people that just come over in garages and in restaurants and can we get a picture and do you know what I mean? My kids laughing like, oh, here we go again. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but it's nice. Which I didn't used to really like that at first. I get a bit embarrassed, but now it's like, yeah, it's like it's good. It's good to be doing this and I'm appreciating it. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. And you're a true legend of the sport. Everybody knows combat sports and
Yeah.
BKFC. And what was the changing point? Like what was the point where you were like, all right, I'm going 24/7, I'm putting that past behind me. What was that changing point?
It was just I felt like it was like I put it to when I come like the fight before John or Chip Chase one. I sort of thought, right, I'm going to actually give this me all, and I mean like fully me all because like I thought like if I because there was mention of a title fight and stuff, and I thought like if it's not to be, then this is like I don't want to just be a fighter who just goes and having shut up and having fights like just for the sake of fighting. Like I want to try and see how far I can go. So I thought, right, I'm gonna have to give it me all because it's my last chance. You know what I mean? Shut up. Yeah, it's my last. Like so. I thought like I don't want to go half, which I did in the pros, like in the boxing. I thought like I could have achieved more if I'd have given me all. So this is what wanted to do. Do you know what I mean? Give it me all,
Of
and
course.
it's proved it. Do you know what I mean? It's proved that it's if you stick it in and give it your all, like, do you know what I mean? I am good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, putting your heart, mind, body, soul, spirit, all into it.
All into it, yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I mean, I would never. Do you know, like it was like a second, another roll of the dice for me, like doing this, which wasn't like it wasn't a plan. It just sort of come. Do you know what I mean? It come around, and it just sort of, and I just, and I'm glad I'm glad I eventually give it me all and achieve something. Do you know what I mean?
of course, of course. Now,
Like yeah.
now I know you very successful boxer, grew up though with street fights and things like that. What's the biggest difference, like even mentally, with bare knuckle to regular gloved boxing?
You do a camp for the boxing, like there's you fight. I was fighting like 10 round fights and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Where there's a bit more of a game plan.
Yeah,
You know, you can afford to take a round off. You can afford to, do you know what I mean? You can think, right, we're going to come on strong in the end of the fight. You know, like you know, something can happen in the fight, and you can change tactics halfway, stuff like that. Like coming from an ex-professional boxer, where this is a bit more of like a, it's a bit more like, you know, like it's more of a sprint, you know, where it's like you don't really have the time to think, right, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I just feel like if you cover everything, we cover everything in the gym. If someone wants to come and stick it on me, we're there. We've got that covered. Other than that, you know, it's just like we go on to them. Do you know what I mean? It's just like you don't like a fight on the street. You don't need a camp for. Do you know, like there's times when I don't know, like so a fight could happen like start like that,
yeah,
and you've only just met this man, and then
yeah,
and he's this tall, and his arms are this long. You haven't had to go on do a training camp. You just like you've got the sake, you've got the time where of like a few footsteps towards each other to work out what I'm doing here. Like if he's a big tall man, I'm not gonna get, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's how much time you've got. So and you've got to just make the best of that situation. So it's like in bare knuckles, more or less the same. It's like if you just cover everything, if you're strong and you're fit and healthy, and you like I've been a fight man all my life, so um, I feel I've more or less got everything covered. Do you know what I mean? It's like you know, you just got to take what's coming. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Things can you can watch somebody even you can watch them, and then you can get in there and it's totally different. Do you know what I mean? Then you got to change what you're doing. But
of
you know,
course.
if you're a fighting man at heart like I am, you know, you just do what you do. What works, and do you know what I mean? And I generally find that out. Generally figure that out pretty sharp.
Yeah, and in the streets too, you have what, maybe about 30 seconds. A bit less, about
Exactly.
30. You got 30 seconds. You got to
Yeah,
land.
I've went to meet a man for a fight before through an argument on the phone. Through I was going on backwards and forwards, and when I met a lad who I knew from that town, and we went walking down the track. You know, there was only so many people walked down there, and there was 3 or 4 men. You know, like all them stereotyping men. What you know, they were all different sizes. One was tall, and I was walking towards them, and there was I think it was four or five of them, and I didn't know which one I was fighting. Do you know what I mean? And then he stepped forward. He was not much taller than me and thick set, but one of them would have been 2 foot taller than him. And as I was walking towards, I had that much time to judge, like, who am I fighting here and what am I doing here? Like, and then as soon as he stepped forward, started growling, I was like, right, this is him. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how much time I had to prepare. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So it's like, and that's how it is. You know, it's like I think when you've done this, when you've done that, and I mean that's just one example. But when you've done that and done that, you know, it's like you can go in there and expect one thing and another happens. You just got to just change things up a little bit in there. Do you know what I mean? You can
yeah,
have like fights where, you know, in the past where opponent you can have, get opponent changes and stuff last minute. It's not something where you think, we're going to pull out because the opponent's changed and we've trained for this man and now we've got this man. Fucking hell, you're fighting man, aren't you? Like I feel like this is for fighting men, you know. And if you're not a fighting man, you'll only have 1 or 2 fights and then it won't be for you.
yep,
You know, you'll get fighting men like what James Lilly is. You know, he's a veteran of the game. He's done all sorts of fighting. You know, he's boxed in the pros. He's boxed MMA. He's had loads of bare knuckle fights. He's a fighting man through and through. So just like myself, this is why it's a good fight for the fans. You know what I mean?
of course. And he's coming down in weight, right? So he's coming down
Yeah,
in
yeah.
weight for the opportunity.
It's coming down and wait for the opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And he's
So
a southpaw too. Any changes there because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
southpaw?
He'll switch it up.
Yeah,
He can do it all really.
yeah,
He can do it all. So whatever he brings, I need to be ready for it. Do you get what I mean?
of course.
Like we haven't really looked focused too much. We haven't we haven't focused too much. We sort of looking. We just do everything. We do all round for for this far out, and we sort of like have a bit more focus on my opponent. Just in the last say 2 weeks really. Like you don't
Yeah,
want to overload your mind and think right. We only because like you said, things can change.
yeah,
Things can change, like, and if you've just regimentally gone over one thing because thinking he's going to do one thing, and you get in there and he doesn't do it, then what next? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
we just the most we speak about the opponent and what we're going out to do is actually fight day. So like not in the hotel or nothing, like actually in the changing room where when I'm bandaged up and we're having a little tap on the pads. That's when it's put into my head. Do you know what I
yep.
mean? I don't know if my coach only puts in my head because I'm thick and I forget if he's done it before. But that's when we go on about it because like that's when it's fresh in your mind. Do you know like because you kind of just repetitively do something because what happens if that doesn't happen? Do you
Yep,
know what I mean?
yep. There's the famous book Art of War. It was like an old book written by Sun Tzu. He says, it was a book on old ancient warfare. He says the best armies, so in this case fighters, know not only themselves but the enemy as well, right?
Yeah,
So you know both. An
yeah,
average army knows only themselves or their opponent, but
yeah,
a bad fighter knows neither. They're
yeah,
either. So if you
yeah.
can nail both, that's when you're
Yeah.
truly a great warrior, like you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
just you got to be prepared for it. He might come out and do something totally different, and you just got to just get through it, the best way you can. And if you've been through lots of situations and you've had fights with lots of different men, lots of different sizes, lots of different situations, you sort of like your full life's been training for a fight, really, isn't it? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
As a fighting man, do you get like you've been fighting for your whole life, boxing professionally, like you said, underground fights,
Hmm.
BKFC. Do you still get that same excitement as you did when you were younger for a fight? Do you still get those same emotions?
No, in a weird way, no. But like fights like this, I will do.
Yeah.
It's like, but it got to the point when towards the end in the pros, I'd be stood in the ring like waiting for the announcing the fight and stuff, and I'd just be stood as if I was in a queue in a shop. Do you know what I mean? Like no different. Like, and I'd feel like, but why? And then, I'd start getting feeling weird feeling because I was thinking I'm not nervous. But then about a year ago, I walked my brother out to a bare-knuckle fight. He fought on a show, and as I was walking him out, I got the nerves and the fluttering butterflies, like what I used to get when I used to fight years ago. That was a feeling I liked. Do you know what I mean? So, and it was a good feeling, and there's a feeling to know, like after this fight, and I'll go into the coaching. I've got kids myself, and I think I'll be able to get me excitement through other fighters. Where it was a weird little feeling because I knew I wasn't in control, and my brother was getting in the ring, and I felt like I wanted to just get inside of his body, and I could just do it for him. But it's the fact that it was out of my control while I got them nerves, I think, and I can remember I was having more sprays of the spray and drinks of the water than giving him. So I was fucking I felt like, and it's a feeling and it was such a good feeling to watch him win. And I was like, oh, that feeling, and I get that, and I got that feeling myself. It reminded me of when I was used to fight years ago when I used to get them feelings. And that's why I did it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is why it's like big fights or no fights for me now. Do you know? If this fight hadn't come about with James Lilly, I don't know. I'd have waited for him. Maybe it was another American call, but I don't think I'd have had the desire to fight like some up and coming fighter in the
Yeah.
UK. It was not really known too much, and just like I don't know, like I just wouldn't have had the desire to get in the gym and get up for it, and I don't think my coaches would either. They'd
Yeah.
probably rather me call it a day and wait for us a big call, a big short notice call, or a big one abroad. Where this here is as big as that. Because like I said, James Lilly's fought a couple of times. He's fought for world titles. He's fought the best in the world. Yeah, and yeah, and he looks like he's taking it seriously. I've seen a recent picture of him sparring. He's all his abs are through, and yeah, he's looking like he's taking it seriously. I'm going to get the best version of James Lilly, so that makes me want to bring my A game, and it's going to be a good one for the fans.
Oh, it's gonna be a great co-main. It's gonna be great. And
Yeah,
too. I mean, what do you think of the? That's a great main event as well. What do you think of the main event with Mick Terrell?
Yeah, something like I said, a heavyweight fight is always an exciting fight, isn't it? And Mick
Always.
Terrell, it'd be good to see Mick Terrell back, and you know, because he's had a good, and he's been keen to fight, for time now.
Yep.
But like I said, there hasn't for heavyweights, and for bare knuckle. And who's going to want to fight Mick Terrell? Do you know what I mean? So this man who's got this Scotsman, he's a game man, and he seems like a bit of a joker, and saying yeah, and it's a fight that makes. I'm not going to say it live. Well, I might say it live. Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
depends. But hopefully, I'm going. I'm going because I'm normally in the stitch room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully I do see it live. But yeah, it's great to be under on the same show as Mick Turrell.
Great
Um,
card.
and yeah, it's a great card. And yeah, like I said, it's good to have a big heavyweight fight in the UK.
Of course. Any rivalry? Because I know Lily's from Wales, right? England versus Wales. I see on Instagram.
Yeah,
Any
yeah. Well, it
little
is
mini
England
rivalry?
Wales. He's a Liverpool football fan. I'm Leeds football fan. As you know, like so, we've drew twice this year. We've played twice this season, both been draws, so we can settle for the football. And yeah, like I say, other than that, I mean, the fans might find a bit rivalry. It's UK, like I said, England and Wales. So for the fans, that are like they want their country to be the winner. Like I said, I think for me and him, it's just two fighting men. Do you know
Of
what I mean?
course.
I've got a man in front of me who wants to fight me, who wants to beat me, who wants to take my head off, and if he gets the chance, he'll not. If given the chance, he'll knock me spark out, and me
Yeah.
given the chance, I'll knock him spark out. So it's one watch. There's no games. It's not boxing. It's a bare knuckle fight. Do you know what I mean? So
It's war.
we both know what we're in for. And as we both know, we don't give up. I've seen him climb off the floor from shots what would take any man out. Do you know what I mean? And we all know I don't give up. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yep.
it just ticks all the boxes for a great fight.
Great fight. Both of you tough fighting men, warriors. Much respect too. Never went down. Dirty Fox has never been down. So
Yeah, like I said, I've said for time now as well. I just want a man to fucking knock me out, and I'll shake his hand. It's the aim of the game. We do this to knock a man out. So it's like I said, this is what it is. This is what we do it for. We try and knock a man out and put ourselves in situations where we can get knocked out ourselves. Do you know what I mean? We'll take risks. So yeah, hopefully we both take some risks and make it really exciting for the fans. Like.
of course. So we're about a month out now. Are you officially in camp right now?
Oh yeah, I'm officially in camp. Like I said, it's not so much camp now. Like just like what I said, like the life I live now. I'm like, I've had to take my foot off the gas more because, like, right, all over Christmas, I have myself for time now where I could do what Ben Bonner did and take a fight on short notice. So my weight's just enough where I could get the weight off to make a fight, to make the weight. And I just like more than anything, I don't burn out. So like I have more. Like, some days I might just have 2 days off. Like I'll have one day off, and I think, and the next day I think I'll have because like years ago, if I was in camp, every day was precious in camp because I knew like until I started camp, I hadn't been living the right life. Do you know what I mean? And so every day was counted for. I need to do this, and every day. Where now it's like every day. It's not like that. It's just living. It's just living every day now. I train a bit most days, and some days your body thanks you for rest. Do you know what I mean? So I have more rest days than I have ever in my life now. But them rest days, I know my body's thanking me for it, and I know I'm ready to go hard the next day. Do you know what I mean? So I still train hard, but I don't need to just train relentless like I'm short for time to be ready for a certain date and ready for that date fight and then back to fucking. Do you know what I mean? Like doing what I want. It's not like that now.
You stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You're right. You're always
Yeah, it's
in
right.
shape and at the gym.
Yeah,
This way you don't have to cut 20 pounds and water, do all the water loading and try to
yeah.
sink out all that weight in the sauna and feel this.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I like saunas. I take saunas most days. I'm in the sauna. I'm in the saunas nearly every day. But just in my spare time, I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I just time where I haven't got my phone in my hand and I'm just relaxing. I just what I mean, in the sauna and the ice bath and just yeah. So it's like I'm not doing it to cut weight. I'm still drinking when I'm in there. Yeah. So it's like it's not. I'm just doing what I do every day, really. Do you know what I mean? I do take a
Yeah.
bit of water out fight week, but I'm not like majorly overweight where, I'm at the weight where I could take a fight like Ben Bonner did and
Yeah.
take a short notice fight within 8 days. Like I could make the weight. Like that's what weight I'm at. Do you know, it's just and I wouldn't be dehydrating myself to the point where I'd be, ill.
Right.
So I just like I said, and when it's part of your everyday routine, looking after yourself and eating healthy food, and like it's a piece of piss. It doesn't feel like a camp. It's just every day, every day. Just you're feeling good every day.
Yeah. It's like mind, body, spirit, soul, all connected. I noticed some of your tattoos too. You're Christian, right?
Yeah, yeah, Christian. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that recent or was that your whole life or
No,
what's your
no,
journey with
like
that?
yeah. Well, it's just yeah. I've always like to say a Christian, but I sort of once upon a time I just sort of lost our faith in everything. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, but I feel like you've got to lose yourself to find yourself back, and it really helped me out.
Yeah.
And it's like you can sort of yeah, like it can really like pull. It just I can't. It's hard to explain, but I feel like like. Yeah, like there's no. I'm not just on my own. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like, and when you're actually healthy and you're clear minded, like
Yeah.
it's clear to see. Do you know what I mean? And little signs all the time, and it's just like I look up and I'm just like, yes, you know what I mean? It's like, like I said, the chip chase fight. I was looking up and said, right, I'll take it from here. It was I felt like everything was getting done for me. Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
mad. Can't explain it. But yeah, and it's like, and this is part of the reason where you can lose yourself and lose all them beliefs and everything. You can sort of like you're just in a constant haze where you're not really thinking about nothing. Your soul is, you're not with you. You're just living daily and just like where when you're switched on and you're tuned in and you're like. You notice little things and they're there for you know what I mean and they placed in front of you and it's just like little things times on phones just like little things songs coming on and when I don't know you're just like look and you think to yourself like and it's that's what living's about. You know what I mean? And it's like and that's why I'll stay the way I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I'll um it's all part of the plan, and it's
Yep.
yeah, and I'm living part of it. Every day it's a blessing. Do you know what I mean? And I'm enjoying it
Of
while it's
course.
here.
I'm a Christian as well, so I enjoyed talking about it. And it's funny, the past couple fighters I've talked with on a podcast. One was on Knuckle Mania, and he is also a pastor. Um, and also I spoke to Anthony Garrett. They call him the Warrior of Christ. We were talking about faith for a while. What is it about like being a fighting man or like being a warrior or even like having a pursuit of excellence that it seems to connect like
Yeah,
perfectly with faith?
yeah, it does. And I feel like it's like when you've been so low like I have, you know, and you feel like it can only be something from a higher power to pull you back from. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like and if that's all your only hope, and you just feel like you just appreciate, because you get the point when you're on your own. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, yeah, and it can really make you, like get it, like you just look up and think like, I'm not on my own here. Like this is yeah, and every single day is a blessing. Like what you don't realize what you have. Do you know what I mean? Even though at one point I thought I had nothing. Do you know what I mean? And just yeah, and to be fair, yeah, I had everything. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And I feel like I'm supported. Like I feel like I can go and
Yeah.
pursue something because I'm good,
Yeah.
you
But
know.
you can easily lose it though. You can easily lose it where you can just take your mind off. You lose your mind. You're just living.
Yeah.
Like it's when you stay healthy and switched on, you're eating good food, and and you're appreciating that. That's when these things get placed in front of you, and you just look up and think, this is not a coincidence. Do you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like this is not a coincidence. I'm not on my own. And it makes you appreciate a lot of things, like which I do now, and every day I appreciate, like things happen and the bad things, it's like, like but are they bad? Like without the bad things, like you get the highs and you get the lows, but the highs come after, and then it's like, without this high, like without this low, that high wouldn't have happened. Do you get what I mean? It's like every single day you just like you're changing your path every day, but as long as you keep it on the right, like and staying positive when bad things are happening or it's not going your way. Like you're just trusting, you're just trusting, like you're here for a reason. Do you know what I mean? And it's like for many times I could have lost my life and I haven't. I'm still here for a reason. Um, so it's like I'm just appreciating it, like and you've got to appreciate even the bad things. If it's not going your way, it just wasn't meant to be. But you just got to keep it going, and it seems like before you know it, like you're back on the high, and you're like, you'll take everything what's been your lowest points. You'll take them. Do you know what I mean? They're just learning.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say that even when you lose, or even when
Yeah,
you lose in life in a way, like or a
yeah,
bad thing happens, it's a trial,
yeah,
like a trial from
yeah.
God,
Of
a
course, it's
lesson to
like
make us stronger.
hundred
Yeah,
percent, 100%. It's like, and the thing, like you said, I've been through some very tough times, and it just builds me up to who I am. Like advice to give people that just like 'cause some people can have like problems, and I think fucking hell, you call that a problem? Do you know what I mean? Do you want to sit and talk about problems? I'll tell you where I've been before. Do you know what I mean? And what it's like, it's just like. And if you can get through them, it's just all just you're building a character, aren't you? And like I feel like yeah, and I'm proud of where I am. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like you just got to just trust in yourself, and and you just keep going. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
you get there in the end. But like there's many times I could have give up in life and give up in in this fighting and stuff. And I think it's the end of the road, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I'll never give up. Like I said, after that, I have my last fight. I'll never give up. I'll just carry. I'm gonna move me. Me attitude where I have in this. I'll have it in other fighters. I've got kids, and like I can pass my past experiences on to the younger generation and keep it going. Do you know what I mean?
no, of course, yeah, I know what you mean. Now, what do you tell some of these younger generation fighters? Like, what's some advice that you give them?
But just that really, it's just like any, you just got to the main thing is, I mean, it's like when you're a young lad and chat lad like I wasn't, but you got to stay away from that drinking stuff because it's just poison.
Yeah,
Like the drink and the drugs, it's just a temporary high. Do you know what I mean? The lows, you get your highs and lows in life, and you get the highs and lows with all that game, and you know, their lows are low when they come from that. Like any situation is even worse, 10 times worse when you're involved drinking or drugs. Like it's and that can make you just lose. You just that's when you can lose your mind. You're like, we've got to keep your body and your mind in sync. Do you know what I mean? Your body and your mind have to work together. Do you know? You've got to be positive and stay in the gym and have a good attitude. And you cannot be abusing your body and having. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. Your balance is not right. Do you know what I mean? If you're just positive, you look after yourself. There's like there's like I was in the gym the other week, and there was a lad with a big cast on his leg, and he was doing pull-ups in the gym. And I was just like things like that. I was just looking, thinking like, how many people would have just thought, fuck the gym, I've got a pot on it. He's just keeping it going. Like it's just like he's making his top half stronger. And do you know what I mean? It's like he's making the best out where he can. He's still putting his gym gear, and he's still going. He's still staying positive, and like. And it was just that sort of attitude. You've got to have that sort of attitude in life. You've got to make the best of any situation what you're in.
for sure.
Like so, yeah, and you can always, like I say, even just down to just going out for a nice walk in the morning. It can make it. You never feel worse off after like a run or a walk or any exercise. You always feel better at the end. You never think, oh, I wish I never done that.
Yeah.
You're always got a smile on your face.
No, that's true. Now it's looking at some of these younger fighters. What's the one quality that you think makes a true fighting man? To pick
But
one quality.
to be a true fighting man, you've got to have the balls, you've got to have the courage, you've got to have the heart. It's something what not everybody has. Um, like you get a lot of boxers or whatever, and people who've actually done all sorts of fighting, and they're not fighting men. They're just men who fight.
Yeah.
Do you know, like they're just men who fight to be called fighters. You know what I mean? The men who fight, they might even have talent, but they haven't got. They're not true. They might be talented, but they just haven't got the heart and they haven't got the balls. So they're not fighting men. Do you know what I mean? They have a fight, but they're not fighting men. And fighting men, I just think that you know. There's only a smaller bunch of the proper fighting men. Do you know, I'm definitely one of them. Do you
For
know,
sure.
and it's like you can just see, yeah, some aren't, and some are. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. And it's I don't think it's something you can train. You kind of train it. You kind of train. You kind of train. You know, you put a proper fight man in a situation where he's cornered and he just doesn't give two fucks. You know what I mean? What he just knows, he'll try and fight his way out with that corner, given what no matter what the outcome. Do you know? And it's like, and you get some who just turn around and run away. They're not fighting men. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just like something you kind of train. It's just mainly heart
Yeah.
and yeah, and like I said and like what we've just been talking about, you know, tough times, and if you're a fighting man, and the fighting men are they never totally finished, are they? A fighting man's never totally finished, even when he's like out of fitness and out of, you know, you'll always hear stories of a fighting man, even even when he's fucking finishing, you know, he'll you know. You still got your power. You'll still have a go. Do you know what I mean? A fighting man will always still have a go
Yeah.
in life and everything. Do you know what I mean? There's not many fighting men going just turn their back on life and think, if you're a fighting man, you know you're there to you'll bring it on because you've been through it all, haven't you? You've been through all the tough times, and yeah, and like you say, you fight. I think to be a fighting man, you're fighting through and through in any situation, not just the actual bare knuckle fight.
Yeah. So even in life, like
Yeah,
after your career and the next goal and the next goal, one thing
yeah.
I noticed, it's kind of like we were talking about, like when you're doing the right thing and your mind, body, soul's all connected and you have good intention, it seems like more good things happen. And then even when the
Also
bad,
does.
it's like a
Positive, man.
magnet. It's a
Yeah.
magnet. It's like a
Positive.
rolling. Yeah.
100%. 100%. And it's like you said, when you're not in sync with your mind and your mind and your body, and you miss those opportunities. You miss good things happening, and you don't even know the good happening. And maybe years later, you might think, "Oh, that was fucking that happened there." I can't like, and I was oblivious. Do you know what I mean? Like you actually you appreciate what's going on around you. Do you know what I mean? You're alert. You're switched on. You're noticing things, and that good thing you can put you on something. Can one little thing can make you smile and you're happy, and then that day it just gets better and better, and you think, "Fucking, what a day that was," or what a, you know what I mean? It's like where you can think things can happen. You can be just oblivious. I've been there and done it years of my life. Just a haze, and I can't remember what happened. And there'll have been good things come and go then, and I didn't even know about them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this version of the Fox is you're in your
Yeah,
prime with that
hundred
mindset.
percent,
You're in your
hundred
prime,
percent. It's a
unstoppable.
100% unstoppable, and yeah, like unstoppable in the way where like anything can happen. I can take it on the chin now. Where years ago, do you know what I mean? I wasn't doing the right thing. I can make the best of any situation here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Mhm.
One story I read I found it was kind of funny is the cell phone story. You
Yeah,
tell us
yeah.
that
Everyone mentions that.
that was
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
went viral.
it was a mad crazy story. It went viral. Yeah, we didn't realize it was. It was just a fucking just a like my phone went missing and fucking. Well, I did actually just think I left it in a bar, so I was ringing the bar the next morning, the next day, and they never opened it till a certain time. And then the cleaners were in. They said, "Oh, give us an hour. We'll have a look around." And I thought it's definitely in there, and then it wasn't. So and it was the same day of the show, the Miami show. So I was like, right, I can't go in there without a phone and that. So when I got a phone, because of the time difference in the UK, I was struggling. I need to get my cousin as well, be iCloud and stuff to get all my information back. So I bought a phone in a phone shop. We found a phone shop, and then we were waiting for some password or something. And one of a friend of mine, he said, "Oh, give me a look at the phone." So I went into my iCloud, and he just 5 minutes later, he jumped out of his seat and went, "I found your phone," and he was like zooming in. It was like you could see it because the phone was ringing, but they were hanging the phone up and stuff, and we could see it like on a map. It was zooming in. It was about 40-minute drive, 45-minute drive. So we got an Uber, and it stopped moving, and we was I got found like a scrap yard. we're looking through all these old cars and that, having a look, ringing the phone, trying to hear the phone ringing. And then when they knocked on this door, and these guys from, I think they were like Colombian type guys, didn't really understand much English. And I was like, the phone's here, it's in that building there. And he opened the door and he was talking. There was music on. There must have been partying and drinking and stuff. Could have went tits up. He could have come out with a gun or anything. And yeah, he just passed the phone out. And I couldn't believe it. So, like one minute I was buying a phone. I gave $300 for an iPhone, and thinking I was gonna have to retrieve all my stuff and just to you fuck on. And the next thing, I was fucking coming back with my phone. Couldn't believe it. It was mad. And then that's when later on it had gone online and just went viral. And there was pictures, like a bunch of bare-knuckle fighters going to receive iPhone and stuff. Yeah, it was mad.
Do you think did someone steal it? You think they had to have?
Well,
They brought those
yeah,
scrapyard.
because I had like was it a flip like a case and it had a couple of cards in cards. One of the cards had been used a few times and then it tried to get used and my card got blocked. All my cards were gone. So it had been definitely all my cards were gone. There was just a phone left. So yeah, I don't think the guy I got it from had done that. He could have just found it, and it could have been someone who just stole it, used the cards and stuff, and maybe slung the phone. But I wasn't going to take that up with him. I was just happy to get the phone back. But I already knew my card was blocked though, so I was happy.
He's probably like when he saw Gary Fox walk in, he's like, "This is my
Yeah,
phone." He's probably like, "Oh
he thought
shit."
I've seen that. I've seen his face. I've seen that gold tooth before. I'm fucking having no
He's like,
trouble
"Oh
with
shit,
him.
I'm having no part of it. Here's your phone."
Yeah, 100%. That's what's happened. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it was a good story. Still got the same phone now. I'm speaking to you on the phone, but I lost.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same phone.
What'd you do with the phone you bought?
I've got it here. Just it's still there, just to spare now.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I come back over, I might take it back to the phone shop. It's like, yeah, I might get my money back, my $300 back for it.
Did you ever find out who took the cards and all or nah?
No, I didn't find out. Like I say, I don't know if it was the guy who I got the
Yeah.
phone off, or he could have just found. He said he found it. He said the man there said he just picked it up and found it, which it could be right because like he didn't destroy it, did he? I think if
Yeah.
he's the man who actually stole it, he'd have probably destroyed the phone.
Yeah.
Where he just gave me my phone back. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
It sounds like someone just found it at the bar and then they probably tried
Probably
the cards
took the
and then
cards out of it,
tossed.
yeah, and then left it, yeah, something like that. Yeah, so yeah, but I've got the phone anyway.
Yeah. Now looking back, I know you have a huge fight coming up with Lily and you're fully prepared. You're going to take care of business, but looking back across your long career as a fighting man, what points have made you the proudest? Like, is there anything you can think back to where you felt the proudest?
Yeah, it was probably winning that title because
Yeah.
I feel like if I lost there, I feel I had nowhere to go. Like I didn't want to be just a fighter, just fighting, low end and fighting like just for the sake of fighting, like for what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like, I took my little boy to me weighing, and he wore the same shorts as me and tensed up, and like I made him part of it. So like it was just part of the story. So when he grows a big lad, and these pictures and videos of me and him at the weigh, and like his friends like, oh, what happened in the fight, and he can say, oh, my dad won the title, and do you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, probably that because, and at the point when. So at least I've achieved something good at the end. You know what I mean? Like, I won Northern Area titles in the pros and stuff, fought for English titles and stuff like that. Where it's not about titles, but it is when you can make your kids proud. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I would say that was probably the proudest moment. Yeah.
No, he was your little boy was at your fight too, right? He was at the fight.
No, he wasn't at the fight. No. Just to come to wins. Yeah, I think that he
Yeah.
he was he. Normally I don't let him watch the fights, but I was that confident, and I was talking to his mum. I said, "Let him have it on, put it on for him." I thought,
Yeah.
I'm not getting beat anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now
Well,
what's the difference once you have kids as a fighting man?
yeah, well, like I said, this is what I mean. Like I said, my oldest daughter, she's 18. Do you know, like when I was boxing in the pros and stuff, and like I just I wasn't the same man. No, I was a bit like I was in the madness. You know what I mean? I didn't
Yeah.
really I didn't like I said. Good things happen, and you don't realize when you can you're not like switched on, and like I say, if I'd had my mindset back then, I'd have went much further. Do you know what I mean? Like Well, I appreciate what I've got now.
Of
Do you know what I
course.
mean? Yes, but you can grow up, can't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Growing up, even as an adult and even continue, you know.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
your so what's your after once you're done with Lily, what do you have your eyes set on? BKFC wise?
Yeah. But it's all on this fight,
Yeah,
really. All
everything.
on Yeah, but not just on this fight because it's Lily and stuff. It's been all on this fight from the last few fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, you know what can happen with, you can get injuries. I cut. I've had some bad cuts. You know, touch wood. I've never broke. I broke my knuckle in my last fight, but I've never broke like my hand to the point where I need operations or nothing. Where like you just know it's a bare knuckle fight where anything can happen. I'm just not looking past this fight.
of course.
Um, I feel like that can be a big mistake when you look past fights.
Of course.
Yeah. So it's like this fight means everything, and I'm looking no further. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
No,
like
of course.
what I used to do years ago. I'd be planning parties and I'd be planning where we going after I fought and stuff. Where now there's no plan on anything until this fight. There's no plans. Like people say, "Oh, what you doing?" I said, "I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what I'm doing."
And you have
Because
a you have a tough man in front of you, a great
yeah,
opponent, of course. Everything, all focus has to be on him.
yeah,
What I meant though is like ultimate, like that BKFC gold. Like you're fighting for that ultimate goal.
mhm.
And Lily is on that path to getting there. Like maybe
Oh
a fight
yeah,
with
uh-huh.
Kai, you know,
Oh, I
fight
mean,
for
I don't like I said. Look, me and Kai still speak now. Like fights like that are like, the dream fights, big fights like that.
yeah,
It's a dream to get back to America. Do you know what I mean? And all this comes with winning this next fight. Do you know what I mean? Because
of course.
I'll be back to the situation where, if I get through this fight and be the winner, I'm back to there's no more like there's nothing left in England for me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm waiting for back to an American call or abroad. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like I don't yeah, like I'll have done enough over here. Do you get what I mean?
Of course.
And like I said, I love America. I've got fans in America, and so like, um, yeah, it's good to know. Do you know what I mean? And it's that's where I feel like, like I was sick. I wasn't part of. I wasn't at Philadelphia with Ben. Do you know? But it is what it is. He's got another fight coming up, and well, back into the year, so I'll be there for that one. And yeah, it'd be good to be still at it and fighting back over that way again myself. So all on this fight. We'll see
You
what.
have you have a huge fan base here in the States.
Yeah.
Yourself and Bonner and but I would say yourself for sure. And I think it's because of your fighting style and the
Yeah,
respect,
yeah. It's just
you know?
I think people like I said, I've said it on interviews where it's like I'd do this if there wasn't like if we didn't do this for a winner, if we done
Yeah,
it just for excitement, if no hand got raised at the end of a fight, I'd still do it because I get a buzz out of it. I get a buzz out of like, like digging that deep where you like you start doubting yourself and you've got to get through to and just like there's a feeling I like the exhaustive feeling after a fight, a full 5 round fight where you're exhausted and you're just like smiling, and no matter what the damage and cuts, and you're just happy and think, oh, fucking, you feel alive. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but and that's just me doing that. Where I would do it if wasn't even a crowd, if it wasn't televised, or I'd do it just anyway. So it's like I'm just doing what I do and enjoy it, and people actually enjoy watching that. So I feel like, it's like, and when the public watch you, and you just, I think you can sharply sussed out. Like if you were a pretender, people can notice. Do you know what I
of
mean?
course.
Or people, when you just are what you are, and you say it how it is, and and you don't tell bullshit, you don't talk shit, and you back up what you're saying. People respect that, and they like that, and they actually enjoy it. And when I was in America, there was somebody speaking from the scene. Like somebody who works for the BKFC, and they say like, when I got the America fight, when videos go up and there were like folks from me, their views were really high. So they said like that's why they got me over to fight in America, because like I was a very watched and like fighter. Do you know what I mean? So it just made me like that was still part of me realizing like, like I'm doing things good. Do you know what I mean? Like win, lose or draw, I'm just people still want to see me fight. And yeah, and it's good to, and I appreciate it. And yeah, and I'm going to keep, I'm going to say, I'll keep doing do myself and proud and make people happy. And
Of
yeah,
course. My favorite thing about watching you fight is not even the like of course you move forward and you have that fighting man style, even a Philadelphia style. I'm from
yeah,
Philadelphia. But it's
mm,
also your footwork and your technique. A lot of
yeah,
people, a lot of boxers seem to struggle with like bare knuckle for whatever reason. Maybe because they
yeah,
haven't been in street fights or they don't
yeah,
have
yeah,
that grit thing.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's what people respect about you the most and like about you the most.
yeah. I think a lot of boxers can, like, if they haven't had the outside life of like handling things on their own, can sort of like look at the referee like, oh come on ref, like, where it's like, because they're used to doing it like in that way. Where I don't have that. I've done both. So I'm like, I'm just a rough street fighting lad who can also box.
Yep.
I'm not just a boxer. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and there's a few like that, and and them the ones that are the most entertaining. Where when a lot of boxers can have it hard, and then they're looking at the corners and they're looking at the ref, and they're holding hands out and how come on, and they're chucking the gum shields out and stuff, and where I'm not about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm about like just fight, just fucking, just what will be. Fight. I just, if you're getting it, I've been hit on the back of the head and all this, and like where I could go out with man. Do you know what I mean? But fuck that. And I've had knees on the floor and fuck, but still being uppercutted, and like I'm not going to jump out with man. Come on, what's happening? You know what I mean? Fuck that. Just if I get him on the floor, I'll uppercut him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? I'm not one for mourning. I'll just get on with it.
No, I like that.
Um, like you said, that's what people like to see, isn't it?
Of course, but it's also mixed with that. It's that mindset, but then it's also you do have that perfect footwork and your head movement, and that's
Yeah,
appreciative too. You're not just a brawler where you just walk
yeah,
forward, no head movement,
uh-huh. Yeah. There's
smooth.
some method. There's
Yeah,
some method to it. Yeah, uh-huh.
even
Like you
cutting
said,
off angles. You're great at cutting off angles.
yeah,
Put them
uh-huh.
in the corner.
Yeah. It's come together. Like I said, as I've gone through my big FC career, because with the circle rings, obviously it's made it a bit tricky at first, and also you can clinch and stuff. So, yeah, I'm getting it now. I feel like it took a few fights, like a good handful of fights to sort of for it to click into place. But because with the crowd, the cameras, getting in the ring announcer, it can sort of put you in a mindset of a boxing fight, because I've come from a boxing background. You sort of you wait and forget, like, it's a bare knuckle fight. Do you know what I mean? Where it's an all boxing fight. You've got to separate it. Do you know what I mean? And now I do separate it, and I feel like a much better fighter.
Now, what are the separation? I know the camp is different, like you were
Yeah,
saying
well,
before,
it's
but
just
what's
like
when you're in
it's
the
just
fight?
like yeah. Well, you're not so much trying to win rounds. You're just trying to at any given time you're trying to win the fight.
Yeah,
You're not thinking, oh, I'm ahead of this round. I'm going to pick him off. I'm going to pick him off. Oh, I'm tired this round. I'm going to just get on my bike, and I'm going to just jab and move. And it's like at any point of that round, it's not so much a fight. It's 5 fights really. You're having 5 2-minute fights, because at any point, like if that round you can take him out, you're taking him out. You don't really have that attitude in the boxing. You want to keep you smart, and win rounds, and you're a couple of rounds up, and well, it's not, like you go through this fight and be a couple of rounds up and try and move. I think you get hit with a shot. One shot can change the game in this. So like you just at any point you want to take them on out if you can. So it is different. Do you know what I mean? Like I said,
yeah,
it's more like it's 5 separate fights really. You're getting off your stool and you're walking towards the man and having a fight 5 times. And if in any of them 5 little fights you have, you can take them out. You're going to take them out.
of course.
You know what I mean?
And then at the end of the fight, it's those endorphins and the adrenaline. You get how you were saying you feel that adrenaline and the endorphins, and you feel
Yeah.
great even with cuts on your face. What do you feel like when you're making the walk or like you're in the back of the
Oh
leg?
yeah, yeah, it's an amazing feeling, that's when you can appreciate, like what you're doing, and you can appreciate it, and like you can just like have a smile on your face and think like, this is what we do it for. Do you know what I mean? Like you got to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Do you get nerves anymore or not at all?
Yeah, well, like, I'll only take the fights what give me nerves now. Like I said, I was nervous on the Toronto Chip Chase fight because
Yep.
it was for a title. I was nervous for in Miami because it was Miami, and now I'm nervous because I'm defending. Like these are fights. These are fights I want what make me nervous, because otherwise, I can't. I wouldn't have the desire to even do a camp to go and have
Yeah.
the fight without you need you. It's got to be for something now. It's got to mean something. It's got to be a big fight, and I feel like it's a big fight. So
Great. Yeah.
it's
Huge
like
fight.
yeah. Like I said, there's the tickets. I've sold hundreds of tickets. Like it's just like, and I like that. I like the fact that there's it's like where there's a big, like you said, there's pressure, really. Do you know what I mean? Where I don't see this pressure though. Like I said, I've said that I don't really see this pressure. It's just like this is what we do it for, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not doing this for like, easy fights and that and stuff. And like I said, there was names put to me being the champion. There was names put to me where the lads had a couple of fights, and I was just like, I'd probably rather wrap in and call it a day. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like only big fights, big risky fights. I'm a risk taker, and that's when I can go out and I've got to be on my game. Do you know what I mean?
Now, do you think that when you are a bit nervous, you are more on your game, like even
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in
you've got to
general,
be.
if you're
Yeah, you've got
nervous
to
on
be.
anything?
You've got to be. It's like, and that's what you do it for. Just like, you're doing the full camp, and you're going out and you're risking breaking your hands, you're risking getting cut. What's the point of doing that for a fight? What makes no sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Even just in general in life too, if someone's listening to this and they're not a fighter and they are maybe nervous, right? They say I've heard I think it was Mike Tyson, he said you can either use your nerves to ignite you or you can
Yeah.
use your nerves to they'll burn you. Right? It's
Yeah,
all about how
100%.
you use it.
Either way, the nerves are either way the nerves are there. So you make the nerves good nerves. You know what I mean? Make them a point when you're nervous. You decide to go and like walk into what you're nervous about, go into it, like bounce into it and just and you'll appreciate it rather than having it a point when you sort of turn away from it and because it'll just break you and it'll last a lot longer. That what I mean. If you get nervous about something and you just don't go ahead with it and it'll beat you up for time where you just get it over and done with whatever you're nervous about, get it over and done with, and like and just suck up, pull your chest out, and get through it, and then that'll be something what will stick with you, and you think, yeah, like even if it wasn't great, do you know what I mean? It's a lesson learned, and you think, right, it won't be as bad next time.
Of course. Now, what are your emotions now a month out from Lily? What are you feeling now? Anything yet?
Well, like I said, we just had a face off on that the day before yesterday,
Yeah.
Saturday. It was just like he's a good man. He's a good, it doesn't need no selling this fight. We don't need to like falsely put on a fucking
No.
like getting in each other's face. We've both been there and done it, and we both know what we've done it, and we both know what we got in front of us, and it doesn't take no selling. Like I said, this is why this tickets have flew out, and everybody's on about the fight. Um, yeah, so it's just like I'm just doing what I do. Like I'm not trying. Like I don't think about it too much. I've done this for time now, and I don't really think about what he's doing. I just know what I'm doing, and I'm trust the process, and what I'm doing is, I'm on track. Everything's my weight's good. I'm sleeping good, and it's what it's all about. Just every day. You can take it too serious, and I've done that before. You can take it far too serious, like, and then it becomes like everything's a task then where I'm just enjoying it now. Do you know what I mean? I don't take it too serious. Because at the end of the day, somebody can come and braille this store now and I'll go out and have a fight now and fight the best I've ever fought. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't really, like, as long as I'm healthy and feeling good, do you know what I mean? It's I'll give anybody a good fight.
Yeah. And it sounds like too, like you've reached a level of discipline where you don't have to gear yourself up to do anything.
Nah,
You just do it.
nah. No, definitely not. Like like I said, the most gearing myself up for a fight is actually when my hands are wrapped and I'm in the change rooms and I start warming up. That's
Yeah.
it from then. Not you know what I mean, and not really the fight isn't really in my head until then because you can just burn nervous energy thinking about time before.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Think about when it's going to happen. Yeah, and it just seems to be that's been the best. So don't get me wrong, the bits we're doing in the gym, what my coach will be doing it for a reason. Because he'll watch and think, oh, this might work, this might work. We're doing little bits and that where he'll think they might come into play. But I'm just doing what we're working on and what it's just I'm just ready for anything.
Yep. Now, who's in your corner and what's your team
Yeah. Neil Fanning, Craig Moffat. They've been there from like
from day one?
But yeah, Neil Fannin was my professional coach, and I've been coach for 15 years. He didn't come in the corner for my first BKFC, but like, um, I don't think it was. I didn't really. We just went and done it, and didn't really realize how big it was, and and then he sort of got in touch and said, "Oh, I'm coming back down the gym," and and he don't get me wrong, I don't think he likes it.
Yeah.
When he sees me cut up, he's not like he's like, but he wouldn't let me do it on my own. Do you know what I mean? And then the other corner man, Craig, he's my best pal. It was he was the one who sort of helped me pull my life back together and start doing this, knowing it would pull me back there. And he's there with me with anything I do, not just the fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I read that online that he didn't like bare knuckle at all, but he said I'm not letting you do it without me. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
didn't you get into
yeah.
bare knuckle because of your sparring part? Like you watched him fight or a bare knuckle, and then you decided to do it. Like, how did you actually
Oh
get in
yeah,
with BKFC?
yeah. I all got in the big FC with Danny Christie.
Yeah,
We fought in the amateurs. We boxed in the amateurs, and then he was doing this fighting, and that's when my mate had noticed. I didn't. That's how much I wasn't with it. I didn't even realize I'd seen him fight, and I didn't realize I'd fought him in the amateurs. And my mate did. You know what I mean? And he sort of like, and he said, "Hey, have you seen that fight?" And I went, "Oh yeah." He said, "Oh, you boxed him," and I was like, "Did I?" Do you know what I mean? I didn't even click. I was just like, yeah. And then when I clicked, he said, "Oh," so I'd used my mum's Instagram, and I messaged him saying, "Oh, it's Gary, if you need it," and that's what sort of got me from back in the gym. Because when he said, "Oh yeah, we went and had some dinner, and then we arranged to do some training," and then I got myself back fit, started helping him out sparring for his fight. Then the big FC were in touch, and that's how it all started. Do you know what I mean? So it helped me shape my life up. People think I'm mad because I'm going out and having bare knuckle fights, but if they'd have seen my life before, they'd know that this is definitely the best route. Do you know what I mean? Because
of course.
I was I was getting cuts and getting fucking stitches and stuff anyway. Like, do you know, maybe they're just but I was also getting locked up in that. Where now it's like a couple of cuts is nothing. Not for me anyway. I've had hundreds of stitches. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Now you can bare knuckle fight without having to go to jail or get in trouble.
Yeah,
It's a job,
yeah.
make money, provide for your family. You know,
Yeah, it's come right in the end. And people have, eventually, like when I look back at, I can't have no regrets now. All the people just think I was a lunatic. Like the fights I used to have, and the operations and the cuts and the being stabbed, and the people think, "Fuck me, you're mental." But like at least, which it won't be the case in everyone's. Everyone who lives life like used to live. It won't be the case in all them, but at least I think it's actually all come right in the end for me now. Do you know what I mean?
of course. Would you be comfortable sharing many of those crazy stories? Like you said, you were stabbed or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. I said just the times a couple of years ago there was like lads stabbed. I got pepper sprayed first, CS gassed. I couldn't even see, and I had about I think I had 12 holes in me. Just they had corkscrews in their hands, two lads, and they were stabbed. One of them was above my eye. Yeah, see that scar there.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? If that was an inch lower, that would have put me out. On the top of my head, on my back, down my sides. And, it's just like things like that where you just like I was actually laughing and joking because I got locked up and then after when I got out, I was just laughing and joking. Big stitches in my face and that, as if it was nothing. But like not realizing like the like and there's times before when I'd be like I'd be blood transfusions and stab where it went through my back and just missed my lung by that much and went past my lung, nearly come right through me. Do you know what I mean? And like even then, I had stitches in. I was back out drinking and stuff. Do you know what I mean? I was just like wasn't good. Do you know what I mean? But like I'm definitely doing it, living life the best way now. And like I said, all learning, all part of learning, growing up.
that's crazy. That is crazy though, and it's
Uh,
inches from death, really too.
I know. And I mean, and it's just a couple, like I said, I've had hammers over my head. I've had all sorts of, like, this is what I mean, bare knuckle fighting. It's like, I'm having a bare knuckle fight, but there's a referee there, there's a canvas, nice soft canvas floor. they were normally on concrete and like being hit with weapons and knuckle dusters and corkscrews and do you know what I mean? Where it's like fucking hell, a fight with bare knuckles is just it's a breeze. It's nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and most people can't relate to that. That's what gives you an
No,
edge too. They
this is
get
what
all
I mean.
geared
It's
up.
like
Yeah.
no, it's like, but there is a certain few, there's a certain few of us who's lived that life and been through them situations, and they're the like proper fighting men, really. And um, I'm not saying you have to go and do things like that to be a proper fighting man, because there's proper fighting men who haven't, but I mean, like, you can just be a bit of a loose cannon growing up, and it's like a recipe for disaster when you won't back down from nobody, and you're also a bit of out and about and giving like, because no matter what's chucked at you, I've noticed there's times there's lads I've had fights with where I've seen them have knives in their hands and I've still went towards them. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where like anyone with sense would just think. Do you know what I mean? Like, whoa, trying to back off here, like, you know what I mean? What could happen? Do you know what I mean? Like, which I would now. Do you know what I mean? But just young and daft, aren't you? Well, wasn't it?
Was it you just growing up with your friends and like that's just kind of the path? Like you,
Yeah, just like I said, I'm just doing my own thing now. I
yeah.
honestly, like I said, I'm not saying like I live life like as if I've got no friends. I don't phone nobody. Nobody phones. I get it's high hardly ever like where years ago I'd be on the phone like God knows how many people. Now I do this. I do my own thing, the same thing every day, and just I'm out and about, and I'll go on a food out. If I'm going to eat out, I'll eat out on my own. Do you know what I mean? Or I'll
Yeah.
have one of my kids with me. I'm happy on my own. I'm just doing my own thing. And it's the best I've been in my life, really.
That's the warrior life too, and you'll find out too, like who really has your back, who your real tribe
Yeah,
is too, when you're trying to
yeah,
live
yeah,
life the
hundred
straight and
percent,
narrow. You know,
100%, mate, 100%. Yeah, yes, I've had friends come and go all my life. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, fucking, what is friends? You know what I mean? No such thing, really. You know what I mean?
the party's crowded, but the gym is few.
Yeah,
You know,
100%, 100%.
well, awesome. Gary, where can fans, like especially in the States, all around the world, where can they follow you and support you and
Well,
everything
just
like that?
I am on Instagram, Gary Fox, LUFC for Leeds, BKFC. Just type Gary Fox and it'll come up. There's a Facebook account. I need to start using that account, but it's linked up to there, so that's follow on that account as well. Yeah, but like I said, I didn't have no social media at all until I started doing this. I was told I had to. It was part of the contract. But I don't really mind now. People know what I'm all about, so I've got nothing to hide. Do you know what I mean? So
They forced the fighting man to get the Instagram.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
It brings a lot more fans to you, though. It brings a lot more
Yeah,
people
of
to.
course. Oh, yeah. I get lots. I get messages all the time, which I always reply to and stuff. A lot of people going through tough times, and I like helping people out. And I'm always there, and I'm always constantly giving advice to people. And yeah, and it's good to be looked up to. Do you know what I mean? And people who just random people who I've never met before, and they're real big fans. You know what I mean? They say your biggest fans are strangers, don't they? And it
True.
seems like that's right. Yeah.
Even across the pond, of course. I
Yeah,
said
like
even
I say,
across the pond. Yeah.
even people who when I fought in Florida, when my the people I took over had the Gary Fox t-shirts on, and they were going to bits of toilets and stuff. There was just bunches of Americans. Hey man, and, I say yeah, Gary Fox. Oh, we all team Fox and that. And it's just and like my friends were saying like like "Oh, it's mad like we in America and they seen now t-shirts and they're all over us like like it's mad to know I've gone so far away. Do you know what I mean? And people know me there. Yeah, it's
Y-
like it's as if I felt more famous over there than here because like it's America's time ahead of the UK for the BKFC, where it's like people in the street and stuff, and in the airports and stuff noticing like they know my name. It's madness.
Did you ever think that would happen when you were in the pub and years ago,
Nah,
and
nah.
you'd be a champion and
I thought my
Americans
time.
wearing your shirt?
I thought no. I thought it'd come and gone. I thought I was a bit like I said when I wasn't living life. I was just on the bottom, and like and then I thought I had the chance in the professional fighting. Like I fought at a pretty high level, and I just thought I blew it really. Um, and I would have lived the rest of my life thinking saying the same. Just telling me grandkids, oh, I could have been this, could have been, and I got another roll of the dice in the BKFC, and I've put my mind to it, and yeah, and it's paid off.
That's awesome. Well, people everywhere, UK, across the pond here in the States, we're all excited for you. on March
Yeah, thank
14th.
you.
We're
Thank
all
you.
gonna tune in and watch and support. Are you doing shirts again for this one? Are you selling shirts on
Yeah,
Instagram or
yeah,
anything?
yeah. There were shirts and stuff. Yeah.
Are you gonna post it on Instagram?
I will post everything on Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Fox.
No
Really,
problem, mate.
really
No
appreciate it
problem.
talking to you. It was a great conversation.
Thank you for being interested in getting up at 5 a.m. over there to speak to me.
No, I was pumped to do so, and I was great. I'm
Right.
gonna be supporting you. I'm gonna grab a shirt too.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you.
All right, Gary. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, speak to you soon, mate.
All right.